Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another adventure we have here in Toral. And we're going to continue on with the Wachumeqimeqi quest line, and we think we'll go ahead with the gathering classes with hands for hire. So the Graying Gatherer is eyeing you with an impressed look. You're a woman who plucks the finest of the land's offerings with their own hands, am I right? Haha, I knew it the moment I set eyes upon you. I share the same passion. In fact, or at least I used to. For many years now did I work in the employ of Shunye's Apothecary, gathering only specimens of the utmost quality. Alas, such work wears on the body, and mine has about had its fill. Every day my knees and back make new cries of protest, so I have finally decided to leave this business to younger hands. And yours looks fit to succeed me, maybe even surpass me. I reckon you'll fill my old position at Shunye's Apothecary nicely. You will fill it in, won't you? I hate for Shunye to be left alone to prop up such a bustling business. Considering the opportunity, I promise you'll be hard-pressed to find a better man to work for. You can find him at the far end of the marketplace. At least go and see what he's about, will you? Well, that's nice, finding a replacement for him. Here we are. Is it Shunye or Shuyun? I think it's Shuyin. Oh, hello there. Apologies for not noticing you. Merchant's work is endless, you see, and I find myself short-handed these days. That's a nice outfit. Welcome to Shunye's Apothecary, friend. Are you searching for something specific? Perhaps one of my displays caught your eye. Oh, like crystals and herbs. We're at that kind of a shop, huh? I've seen that look before. You're wondering just what sort of shop this is. To put it simply, I purvey goods which promote a healthy body and mind. Herbs to cleanse mild ailments, incense to calm the senses, stones to massage aching shoulders, and much more, as you can see. Naturally, this requires the use of various plants and minerals which possess uncommon and some would even say mystical properties, which I acquire from discerning and trusted gatherers. However, the flow of goods has recently slowed to a trickle, and I found it difficult to keep my shelves stocked. You may find my selection somewhat wanting, if I'm being honest. So you must be the gatherer Ropley spoke of. Are you here to offer your services? Of course, I'm more than grateful for the help. I hope this is part of a mutually pleasant relationship, Claire. Excuse me, but are you the proprietor of this shop? Is it true you are of the Shitona tribe? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Oh, hello. Yes, on both counts. What brings you to Shunye's Apothecary, friend? I am Vulo Gasjuesvi. I hail from the village of Kugma, located on the eastern continent of Othard. I was traveling the 3 great continents in an effort to expand my horizons when I learned of a people similar to the Viera who live in Toral. I wished to learn all I could of them, so I boarded the first ship across the sea I could find. Once at port, I asked where I might find any Shitona and was pointed here. Wow, you came a long way. Please, allow me to serve you. I can hunt, I can fight, I can gather. Surely one of my skills can be of use. All I ask is, in return is that you teach me of your people. What a day this has turned out to be. One moment desperate for help, the next spoiled for choice. Uvlo, was it? I know you've come far, and I can sense your sincerity, but my conversation doesn't fetch so high a price. Simply purchase one of my wares, and we can chat for as long as you like. I have no money. Not even a single coin. I spent my very last one hiring a ship to bring me here. Well, that's not fair. Then I can't very well expect your custom, can I? That's a bit of a jerkish thing. Apologies for the interruption, Claire. Where were we? Yes, would you agree to a small test of your talents before we begin our work in earnest? I mean, can't you have him help out too? I suppose I'll be testing you too. That is, of course, assuming you still wish to work with me. Of course, I'm at your disposal. You only need to tell me what to do. Then your task is simple. Bring me goods that I can sell to eager customers. There's no way to take stock of your talents. Not sure how I feel about this guy. Okay, so let's see here. Test of talents. Eager to put your skills to the test. Now, shall we get started? I want both of you to head to Ukupacha and bring me back an assortment of my most popular staples. Namely, I'm looking for maca, a plant which imparts unflagging vigor, and springstone, which is used to warm the body and soothe aches in the muscles. You can bring me whichever is easier for you to gather. Either will sell just as quickly. Since this is only a trial, let's start with, say, 6 or so. 6 springstones from Ukupacha. Understood. I shall return with haste. Does he even know which way to go for Ukupacha? Okay, so we just have to go and collect 6 of them. Apothecary staples. So, where do we go for that? Man, I have a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna have to throw some of this stuff out. Gathering location. Okay, yeah, I think I know where that is. So it's just past the Pelu village. Okay, so let's just head on straight there. Okay, so sorry about that. Had to take a quick pause there while I was finding the right location. And I'll show you quickly here on the map just so that you don't forget. But it's just past the Pelu village, I guess. So, and it's the Apothecary staples that you're looking for with the level 95 vegetation patch. I'm just going to skip ahead. I'm waiting for my GP to rise again to 400. So yeah, you need at least 400 if you definitely want to do it this way. So this does use up a lot of GP, and I know that there are easier ways to do so, but this will guarantee that you do get a collectability of 1000%. Like, you can get 1, maybe 2 at most, but it's definitely getting it up to 1000. So now that we have all 6, let's just go ahead and head straight back. Alright, here we go, Shunye. You can find the staples I require in Ukupacha. Either the Maka or the Springstone will suffice. Bring me whichever one is easier for you to acquire. That was quicker than I expected. Let's see. Oh my, this delivery is better than I could have imagined. Almost too good, in fact. My customers might come to take such quality for granted. Thank you for your hard work. It's always comforting to see my shelves stocked. Okay, so we've started to earn his trust. So, I wonder how our other friend is doing. I must say, there's no greater reassurance than knowing I have wares to sell. Even though this was but a trial run, you conducted yourself flawlessly. Truth be told, when I first began this endeavor, I didn't imagine I would sell such a wide array of goods. But health is a goal we all share, and there are any number of ways to pursue it. Take Maka, for instance. It thrives in the harsh climes of Ukupacha, assimilating nutrients from its unique environment. It has been a favorite since time immemorial for the nutritional value and invigorating properties. Springstone, on the other hand, is a type of volcanic rock. Retains heat rather well, so after a bit of polishing and warming, you can place it in your pocket or directly on the skin. Even in hotter regions, it's used to relieve stiff muscles and troublesome aches. I know you came to see me seeking gainful employment, but you must place your own health first and foremost. If anything ever ails you, I would welcome your custom with open arms. Speaking of which, you haven't seen Uvlo, have you? I hope he hasn't gotten lost. Judging by his story, he arrived in Toral only shortly before visiting my shop. His confident stride suggested he knew where he was going, but how could he... There he is! I am returned, Master Shunye. I hope my deliveries meet with your satisfaction. Well, I suppose there was no need to worry. Yes, these are good. They'll certainly sell. Forgive my imposition, but have you been to Tural before, or did you hire someone to guide you? Well, it's not like he has any money for a guide. Neither. This is my first time in Tural, and I have no money for a guide. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. The city is home to a great many people. If you ask around for information, you can piece together any puzzle in time. That is, of course, if you have the patience to do so. Does this mean you've reached a decision regarding my employment? Indeed, you did well today. So for the time being, I have no objection to continuing our business relationship. And of course, I'd like to continue working with you as well, Claire. However, I understand you aren't the type to stay in one place over long. Let's keep it simple, shall we? Stop by whenever you have time for a few tasks, and I shall recompensate you accordingly. Then it's settled. Don't be a stranger, Claire. Claire, forgive my rudeness for not introducing myself sooner. I am Uvlo of Kuguma Village. I hope to learn much from someone of your experience. Just as I hope to learn about the Shatona from you, Master Shunye. May we all prosper under your tutelage. I like this guy. Well, I may prove to be a worthless teacher in that regard, but I suppose I can try. As for our mutual prosperity, that depends on us. Okay, he seems a bit down. That is to say, we need to get selling. My customers will be pleased to see my stocks replenished at last. Okay, delivered the requested items. And steam level increase. Greenhorn Gatherer. I think we're a little bit more than a greenhorn at this point. Hello everyone, welcome back. So we are continuing on with the next step. Master Shunye has been more than accommodating, and I would repay his kindness with honest labor. I have worked almost every job under the sun during my travels, so I shall be here for whatever he needs. Ah, aren't you dependable? Okay, discerning eye, ready to begin a new day of peddling wellness. Ah, good day, Claire. Are you here for more work? I could certainly use the help. Thank you. Having another deft hand at my disposal will speed things along. Yeah, has he adjusted to life in Tuliolo? He's settled into his work rather well, but outside of that, let's just say his complete lack of funds has proven to be a hurdle. Couldn't even afford to lodge himself. Well, that's everyone's biggest problem, isn't it? He assured me that he has no qualms sleeping under the stars, but I can't very well have my employees camping in the wilds like common vagabonds. In the end, I invited him to live with me. Oh, that's nice. You may not always think ahead, but it's plain that in all other respects, he's quite thorough. He's neat and organized, has never once been late, and is ever quick to ask questions when something confounds him. Huh, sounds like a real good employee. Suppose this is a natural consequence of his upbringing. He said he never lacked for mentors growing up. A much different life than the one I lead. The men of my people spend much of their time alone, and as a result, many of us develop habits more lax than not, myself included. Even so, I find his scrumptious attitude refreshing. Is there work to be done? Just so, old fellow. If you finish taking stock, I would ask that you accompany Claire to gather a few more things to sell. Of course, working with someone more experienced than myself is always a pleasure. Good, good. Today will be similar to the last time. I want you to bring me more of my popular products, namely, those that benefit the soul. Firstly, cuttings from a fragrant tree that is said to purify the body of toxins. Secondly, a type of amethyst that's treasured in York Terrell for its purported ability to calm troubled spirits. While usage of these items differs slightly depending on the customer's cultural practices, they are generally thought to ward off evil humors accumulated in the mind, body, and soul. Fascinating. Wood and stones? I thought health to be in the realm of medicine and alchemy. Makes me wonder what hidden powers the objects arrayed here might possess. Of course, I only sell products of proven repute, but even that is no guarantee that an item which positively affects one person will do the same for another. Some even purchase goods based solely on the fact that they are pleasing to the eye. Salves takes many forms, as I've learned. That explains the sheer variety. Do you travel the continent in search of new goods? Not quite. I depend on gatherers such as yourselves mostly. That and a handful of trusted merchants. I dare not leave the shop unattended for long, you see, and well, I have my reasons for not venturing beyond the city's gates. But enough of that, yes? There's work to be done. You can find what I need in the northern region of Wachumeqimeqi. As always, the higher the quality of your delivery, the better your reward shall be. I like to test my hand at collecting both, Claire. I hardly suspect you require any practice, so I trust you'll decide which task better suits your skills. Okay, can I find it here? No. Yes, we're catered to our spiritual needs. Yeah. But where exactly do I find it? Okay, so this might take a little while to figure out. Oh wait, hold on. I didn't expect it to actually be on the map right there. Okay, well that's certainly gonna make my life easier. So it's just past the Okanu village, and I'll be back as soon as I collect them. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So took a little bit of time, but I have everything that I need, which means that we can go ahead and head straight right back to Tuliolo. Wares which cater to our spiritual needs are popular among customers old and new, but I have you gather the finest of them from Wachumeqimeqi. You've left me speechless once again. I'm almost afraid to examine your delivery for fear of tarnishing its beauty. I shall have to maintain a delicate touch. This is more than suitable. Good work, Claire. You're quite good at this, I must admit. How many hours do you reckon you've spent searching for the Earth's finest bounties? Oh, buddy, I have long since lost track. I'm returned. Wood cuttings and amethysts. I hope they are up to your discerning standards. Welcome back, Huvlo. Let's have a look. Oh my. Well, I can certainly sell the wood cuttings as they are, but these amethysts, they're almost flawless. Where did you find such a rich vein? I am something of an expert in the subject of minerals, you see. I hail from the snow-capped mountains of the Skyte Range, where we have naught but rock and snow to gaze upon. Well, that makes sense. To the untrained eye, one stone is much the same as another, but these house singular essences which we have learned to identify. My people believe these to be the souls of our forebears, returned to their ancestral home, and we carry them on our person as a form of protection. The Skyte Range. I've never been, but your words paint a picture well enough. You and my own continents have traveled so far, to say nothing of travelers from Toral. Do you have a map, Claire? I believe it would do Master Shunye well if we consulted it. Really? Here, the Skyte Range. Dominating central Othard, the mountains mark the border between the Burn and the former kingdom of Dalmasca. Okay, at least we know where it is now. My clan is known as the Vina Viera, and their settlements can be found in and around the Skyte Range. Kugama, my village, is among them. As is common with other Viera clans, the women oversee day-to-day life in Kugama, while the men dwell outside its gates as protectors. The land is harsh and unforgiving, but the knowledge of our ancestors teaches us how to hunt when prey is scarce and forage when frost kills all but the hardiest plants. In this way we lived until the Garlean Empire rose like a blight upon the earth. Although we were never threatened by them directly, the nations we called neighbors fell one by one to their ambition. Our elders decided to cut off all contact with the outside world, but as time went on, more and more came to realize that such extreme measures were untenable. And so some years back, it was decided that one among us would journey into the outside world to gather the most precious resource of all, knowledge. Really? Just one person? They must grasp the complex workings of the larger world, attuning themselves to the pulse of modern life until it beats with their own. Then they must return to the village and teach all they have learned. Well, I get why they did that, but why only one? That's a lot of responsibility. And you are this person, I take it. My family name, Jaunt, means cloud, and like a cloud I drift from land to land, eventually returning to my home to provide the nourishing rain of knowledge to my people. I see. That's why you're so eager to learn of the Shatona. From their way of life, I hope to extract valuable nuggets of wisdom that will help my own people. When I heard of the Shatona, I imagined how we Viera would live across the sea. How would our long lives play out in a different environment? What sort of society would we build? People so far apart but so similar, I had to see for myself how you fared. I apologize for speaking so long. Thank you for lending us your map, Claire. Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility for just one person. I admit, but my village is my family. Although my path is not an easy one, I would climb even the sheerest cliff for their sake. Aww. You really would, wouldn't you? Never mind that. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Ulvlo. And thank you both for a job well done. I look forward to hiring your services again, Claire. Okay, so I get the feeling he's hiding something here. Great gatherer. Well, that didn't take long to become a great gatherer now, did it? Okay, so we are about halfway there, which means that we should be getting a special quest at the end of this particular quest, as nature intends. It's good to see you, Claire. Come to see how business is doing? I finished my work. If you require Claire's aid, then allow me to help. Of course, I'm grateful to have such an eager worker in my employ. But I must remind you to rest. Even you have a limit, surely. My masters trained me well for my role. An endless journey requires endless vitality, and I was prepared to endure such a trial. Well, I have no reason to mistrust your judgments, but I know how tiring a long journey can be, so don't hesitate to take a constitutional at your leisure. You do? I thought you rarely ventured past the city's gates. Oh, you seem busy. Should I return later? Oh, another one! Upayota, welcome. Feel free to browse my wares. My employees here shall be glad to help with anything you might require. Employees? You hired more? 2 more? I hoped against hope that you quit this foolish distraction after that old codger retired. Just how many moons do you intend to stay cooped up in the city, playing shopkeep like a child? I'm guessing she's a family member. If there is anything you wish to order, simply say the word. That is why you're here, isn't it? You never did listen. Fine, if you insist on keeping this up, then I could use cleansing supplies for the household. You know where to make your delivery. Damn. What's with her? That was my sister. Born of a different mother, but my sister all the same. Among the Shatona and the Vieira where you hail from, I'd wager, it's not an uncommon circumstance. The gender of my people become apparent as we grow. A large majority are women, with men being somewhat of a rarity. Thus, we generally do not marry a single partner, as is common with other peoples. Most of us have siblings from different fathers or mothers. But regardless of blood, a customer is a customer, and her order must be fulfilled. Delivery of supplies that our people use to cleanse their homes in the midst of bustling cities, sprigs of saka sage, and purifying water from the Nilequirbi. I feel like my tongue twisted just for saying that. I'm completely out of boat, so I'm tasking you with journeying to Shaloni and gather whichever best suits your skills. I shall go too, and bring back what Claire cannot. So, a sister then. That means that she might be able to help maybe give us a little bit more backstory on this guy, because we really don't know that much. I didn't see anything there. And where is it? Oh, way up in the corner there. Damn it. Okay, so I'll be right back once I found them. Okay, so I am back, and I have gone ahead and collected all the pieces I needed. Honestly, if I were not to skip it and just showed you every single second of me just gathering, it would get boring and probably continue on for like another half hour. Okay, here we go. So just showing you guys where to go and have a basic idea of how to gather it is more than enough if you ask me. Apologies about my sister's less than friendly attitude. Nevertheless, she has made an order and it's our duty to fulfill it. Excellent work, Claire, although I shouldn't be surprised. I admit I'm half tempted to keep this delivery for myself, but alas. Uvlo should return soon, and then we can get everything together to send to my sister. Everything seems to be in order and all to my standards. Thank you both once again. You said these cleanse your homes. How exactly? Do they keep insects away, or perhaps they keep the floors clean? I don't think he means that kind of cleansing. Indeed, they do serve such purposes, but more importantly, they're essential to upholding Shatona customs. Even among those of us living in cities, keeping in harmony with nature is of the utmost importance. All things breathe the energy of life, the earth and sea, the rivers and forests, the rain, wind and sun. Every animal that walks, swims, or flies is beholden to this energy. By tuning ourselves to its flow and availing ourselves of its blessing, we become a part of it, and thus a part of every living thing under the heavens. And so, when we choose a place to live, we do our best to keep things as they are. We fell trees only when absolutely necessary, or else live in the natural shelter of caves. Some of our small settlements even make use of buildings abandoned by other peoples. Of course, the Shatona are not a monolith, and since the Dawn Servants unified Toral, many have come to hold different values to their ancestors. Nowadays, Shatona are not an uncommon sight, even in a metropolis like Tuliolo. Some even consider embracing change to be a part of nature's flow. However, no small number of city-dwelling Shatona feel an almost unbearable sense of suffocation when inside cramped buildings. I see. I suppose these supplies are a way of allowing nature's blessing into your homes and maintaining your connection to its cycle. Exactly. Zaka sage is native to the wilderness of Shalone, and is purported to be closely linked to the greater power flowing around us, which lends its potent cleansing properties. The Nikaripi feeds into several bodies of water, Lake Torari among them. Such water passes through countless valleys and under vast reaches of sky and connect us to that unfathomable journey. Apuyata lived near those waters for some time, in fact. After her children set off on their own journey, she settled down in Tuliolo with a new family, but she still maintains a strong connection to the natural energies she was once surrounded by. So, we best not keep her waiting, eh? I would go myself, but I've had enough of her scoldings for one day. Could you go in my stead, Claire? You can expect a satisfactory reward for your troubles, I promise. What are you up to? A gifted gatherer. So we have a special delivery to make, a special quest. Let us see. The Circle of Life. I finished putting together Apoyata's delivery. Please be careful with it. She lives in the Resplendent Quarter. Here, I've marked it on your map. Master Shunye, I would go along with Claire, with your permission. Consider it a diversion from my work. You have been urging me to take time to relax, after all. You have a strange idea of relaxation, but I see no reason to object. Very well, you both can deliver this package to my sister. Apologies for the imposition, Claire. Let us depart at once. Yeah, I think he just wants to know more about the guy because he's not really very open about his past. And judging from the way that she was snapping at him, I'm guessing something bad had to have happened. Because if male Shatona are supposed to be, wanderers, why isn't he wandering? And I get it, not everyone wants to, not everyone's a traveler. Some people are homebodies, but I have a feeling that there is more to this than we think. Here she is. Let's complete our task. Oh, you two. I saw you at my brother's shop, yes? I take it he asked you to deliver my order? Yes, everything's here. I must say, these materials are of higher quality than I've come to expect. My brother has a good stroke of fortune with you two, it seems. I apologize for my conduct before. It was unbecoming of me, and I hope to make amends. But above all, please help my brother succeed in his endeavors. Okay, so she does care, but... You appeared rather unsupportive earlier. I was under the impression you wished he would quit his shop and leave the city. Well, that's a rather blunt way of putting it. Why? Surely life here is not so terrible a prospect. I thought there was something different about you. You don't hail from Tural, do you? My people value living in harmony with nature above all, and settle only where that harmony won't be disrupted, in small villages usually. They are built and maintained by our women. The men travel from village to village, fostering our bonds with one another. Our families are built upon the relationship between parent and child. When a child is born, their mother and father become inextricably bound to each other as well. Mothers live with their children until they become independent, while fathers continue to travel. As the seasons turn, the men visit their families in each village they pass through. Although their time together is fleeting, it's always precious. We talk until the small hours of the morning, sharing all that has happened since last we met. The fathers tell us how the other villages fare, and it makes our small settlements feel so much larger. Although there is no one place we can point to as the home of the Shatona, we are connected in this way like the roots of a giant tree. Fascinating. We Vieira lead such different lives, yet even so, there are shades of similarity. I take it Shunye did not always live in Tuliolo, then. He used to travel the land as well. The bond with his first family was formed in a small village to the north, along the tall mountains. Yet not long after his departure one season, the village was suddenly destroyed. None survived. Oh. No one knows exactly what happened, but those who saw the aftermath said that nothing but scarred and scorched earth remained. Terrible sight. Since that day, Shunye ceased to travel. For 50 years he lived in the city, all alone. 50 years, wow. $50. That means... How many winters has Shunye seen exactly? He was born shortly after the formation of Tuliolo, so that would make him 80 or so, I suppose. Wow, he sure doesn't look it, does he? Whoa, what's with you? 80? All this time I've been a fool. His nature is so amenable, I thought him to be the same age as I. How could he forgive my utter rudeness, prying into his past without paying him the proper respects? I must apologize to save my honor and my life. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it can't be that bad. I don't think he would mind so much. Not bad. This is a matter of life and death. Vieira men must pay the utmost respect to their elders. Those who forget this do not live to become an elder themselves. Wow, he must have had some real harsh mentors. I must make amends with Shunye. You are his sister. Please, tell me what I can give him. I don't think Shunye cares, but you seem quite insistent, so perhaps something he can sell in his apothecary. A Pelu friend of mine told me that in the highlands of Ukupacha one can find many rare plants and minerals, flowers that bloom but once in many moons, emeralds with enchanting patterns, and more besides. Brilliant idea. I shall depart to Ukupacha at once and collect the finest items I can. Claire, I must request your aid. Although the burden of shame is sorely mine to bear, I fear that I alone cannot gather enough items to make up for the magnitude of my disrespect. Damn. Like, what do you think you would do? Will you agree? Please, you would be my savior. Okay. Thank you, Claire. I shall leave at once. Let us meet again at the apothecary to deliver my offering. Man. Okay. So, the gathering location... Yeah. Then the second half. So we only need to collect one, so that shouldn't be hard. Oh, okay, that was easier than I thought it would be. Alright, let's just head back. Is he on his knees? Buddy, I don't think he's gonna be that mad. Please deliver the rest of my offering to Master Shunye. I would do it myself, but I must stay in this position as a form of repentance. It is a custom I learned in the Far East, and I have yet to find a better way to express the shame in one's heart. Oh man. Welcome back, Claire. Wulo told me about everything. Most sympathetically, I might add. There's much I would say on the matter, but as I've taken to understand that you brought me a gift, I would happily receive it from you first. My word, Uvlo's gift alone left me speechless. This is surely more than I deserve. Materials of this quality can only be gathered by truly skilled hands. I'm grateful, you can be sure. All is forgiven, Uvlo. In fact, there's nothing for me to forgive. As Opayoto told you, my people live with their mothers until they come of age. From her they learn all the skills and knowledge they need to flourish, without any strict hierarchy among the men. While I appreciate your gesture, I would be much obliged if we could continue on as we have been. Well... As you wish, Master Shunye. I'm glad we've reached an understanding. Now let's get back to work, shall we? Before that, regardless of whether or not I owe you respect, I still pry into your past, only to state my own curiosity. And for that I am deeply sorry. There's no need. It wasn't as if I meant to keep it a secret. So let me clear the air. What Upayoto told you was true. My travels ended 50 years ago after I lost my family. To us, death isn't something to be mourned. It's merely another part of the circle of life. I should have carried on, found a new family in a new village. But I couldn't, not while the cause of my family's death remained a mystery. Do you truly know nothing? The complete destruction of a settlement, even a small one, surely would not have gone unnoticed. I think you underestimate how small. You could count the number of houses on one hand. To reach the nearest proper village, we have to traverse 2 towering mountains. You could have witnessed the incident. The scale of destruction was too great for bandits. Many have suggested that a Tural Vidral was to blame. I was lodging at an aforementioned village when the tidings reached me. A few days prior, a streak of light had scarred the sky, so bright that it was clearly visible even in daytime. It disappeared behind the mountain peaks, and soon after the earth trembled. The trees and mountains shook, and wind bore dust through the valleys. A meteor? Yeah, that sounds like a meteor. That was the conclusion I reached as well. A meteor from the heavens struck my family's home by pure chance. What are the odds? Anyway, it's only a theory. You would think the evidence of such a tragedy would be more definite, but it hasn't been quite that easy. Wait a moment, please. Well, that's pretty. What is this? Stones like this were found scattered about in the ruins, as if the heavens themselves wept to see the devastation. I've taken to calling them azure tears. Haven't been in this business for so long I can hazard a guess as to their true nature. And I believe that proof of what befell my family must lie within these fragments. Even so, decisive evidence continues to elude me. Then again, perhaps my desire for answers causes me to see connections where there are none. But even if I wanted to, I can't let it go. I mean, that makes sense. He can't move on without at least knowing what happened. He knows it's not going to bring them back, but it's just not going to give him peace. Okay, so we are back for the next part of the story. Digging up the truth. Okay, here's concern for one of his most diligent workers. Welcome back to my apothecary, Claire. I always appreciate you stopping by. We're as busy as ever, as you can see. Although since last we met, Uvlo has been acting strangely. He brushes off all my attempts to help and works with a singular focus. I think he still believes he crossed a line in asking about my past, and is focusing his efforts more than usual to make up for his perceived affront. All of which is to say, I have no work for you today. He just wants to help him. That's so sweet. Well, if our tasks for the day are done, I think we should try to unravel the nature of these azure tears you found. Wow, he's coming right on out and saying it. Aha, I understand now. You squared away today's work so quickly because you had hoped to employ Claire's energies on the tears. Not exactly, yet I admit the thought did occur to me. I found it difficult to think of aught else as of late. What could those stones possibly be? Truth be told, I can scarce imagine how we might prove they are connected to a meteor. As difficult as it is for me to admit, Master Shunye, your theory remains just that. Yet if we were to find similar crystals at another location where meteors had fallen, what then? Would that not provide sufficient evidence that the two phenomena are related? I don't think you'll find anything. I've asked all who would listen if they've seen anything resembling the tears, but even the most worldly of my connections say they are quite singular. Perhaps they are the only objects of their kind in this world. In that case, they would be rarer than any precious jewel. I believe our inability to find any information on them gives us all the more reason to look. Claire and I have yet to search for them after all, and you know our skill at finding the rarest of specimens. Yeah, we can't give up yet. You too. Very well. I'll only make this imposition on you once. You've done enough for me already. Hey, once is all we need, buddy. Now, there are several locations in Tural where meteorites have fallen in the past. The Krustros crater is purported to be the largest by scholars who study such phenomena. However, over the years, nature has healed the scar left behind. Soil has accumulated and trees have taken root. Now the area is known as Yaktel. But I doubt a little earth and wood can deter you. Somewhere under all that wildlife, you may find material that has lain there since the meteor struck. If you find something that resembles the tears, then we may be able to solidify a theory of what transpired 50 years ago. We'll know they came from a meteorite, at least. Well then, let's waste no time. Off to Yaktel we go. So I'm guessing it's going to be near, or at least close to Mamluk. Okay, so where do we... Oh my god, really? It's just outside that village up ahead. Nothing down here. Did we come all the way down here for no reason? Why? Alright. It's annoying, but at least we have a quick teleport. Okay, so we are filled. Let's go ahead and teleport straight back to Tuliolo. And I hope we're able to help the guy. Because I really do get it. Because, you know, I think he wants to move on. He wants to, you know, let go of the past. Maybe start a new family. But he can't because this is just weighing on his mind so much. So it's not like he can just realistically let it go. At least until he knows the truth. Sorry that you got roped into this. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can find all the same. What we see is most likely in Yaktel. You'll have to dig deep, but I know you're equal to the task. I'll be right back. Okay, real sorry about that, but needed to go and spend those tomes. Okay, let's try this again. Amazing. This is painfully composed of materials entirely different to those found on the surface of Yaktel. Much more dense, much older, and shaped so beautifully besides. You've done well, Claire. With both you and Ollo's samples, we may be able to reach a conclusion at last. Did you discover aught? Well, I was able to detect small fragments of a deep blue substance. And when I shined a light on it, its color did indeed resemble the tears. But even so, there wasn't enough. As far as my abilities can discern, there's no way to say for certain that the two substances are one and the same. See. Yet, you admit a possibility that they might be related. Those are good tidings. We simply need to keep digging, and eventually we'll find a large sample. We simply need to keep digging, and eventually we'll find a sample large enough to give us a definitive answer. I did not expect this journey to be finished just after one outing. I shall return to Yaktel as many times as it takes. Why must you do this to yourself, Uvlo? You needn't feel obligated to help me resolve this personal matter. At the end of the day, I won't teach you any more about the Shatona. You are correct. I admit that digging deep into the soil is not a task that will help my people thrive. Yet hearing Apayata speak with such affection about her family, and seeing you suffer so deeply from the loss of your own, I came to a realization. Though we may call ourselves by different names, both are of our people's cherished family above all. If my village suffered the same fate as yours, I would not rest until I found the cause. I could not suffer to live with myself otherwise. I know you feel the same. That is why you still have the tears, even though they hold naught but painful memories. Before, you said that your long years running the shop allowed you to guess that the stones were related to your tragedy. But I know that deep down you started this apothecary because you knew it would bring you closer to an answer. As your employee, it is only meet that I should help you achieve this goal. Allow me to help you, Master Shunye. So reckless you are on your own journey, but so diligent in helping me along in mine. I hope you've at least managed to save a handful of coins since coming here. If we're going forward with this, I must ask that you spare Yoktel's future digging. I won't sacrifice the region's natural beauty in my quest, nor damage another's home. There has to be a different way. I shall require time to find it. When I do, I only ask that you be there to help, Claire. Can I count on you? Thank you, truly. I have to sell a good portion of my stock to pay back the debt I'll owe you after all is said and done. Okay, so only one quest left to go. Glorious Gatherer. Okay, everyone, here we are. The finale for the Gathering class, with Wellspring of Tears. Shunye brightens up more than usual at your arrival to his apothecary. That's good, because his gloomy attitude was really starting to bring me down. You're here just in time, Claire. I would seek counsel from my best gatherers. We're your only gatherers. Uvelo, a moment if you will. Before we begin, I would once again like to offer my thanks. What you brought back from Yoktel was more than I could have imagined. Even so, our efforts were lacking. We still yet to identify the origins of the tears. Have you thought of where we might go next? Matter of speaking, I suppose. But I must warn you, I can't say for certain we'll find anything. Most of my knowledge of the tears comes from stories I've heard from fellow merchants. In fact, it was a merchant from Ikburiaks who suggested Yoktel as a place of inquiry, given its history with meteors. We often exchange information as well as goods. And although that lead ultimately bore no fruit, looking back, I believe my mistake was relying solely on incomplete information. Yeah, that's right. We need a perspective from a mook, but you think that I might have misled you? No, nothing like that. On the contrary, I believe he was more than forthcoming with what he knew. Quite clever, that one. But he was of the Exbrawl, and as such may not have been privy to information from Mamuk. Although the two tribes are now at peace, their history is one of conflict. Even if the merchants hadn't been one of their ancestral enemies, the Mamuja who populated Mamuk are known to be wary of outsiders. I understand times have changed in that respect, but I wonder how realistic it would be to try and seek information in Mamuk. You've been there before? Of course. You've been working together for so long I almost forgot about your storied history. Obviously, the right of succession brought you to every corner of Doral. Then I would give you this task, Claire. Go to Mamuk and speak with the people there. Perhaps someone has even seen something that resembles the tears. You should accompany her. I can manage the shop well enough in your absence. That is kind of you, truly. But if you're even half as good at gathering information as you are at gathering materials, then your talents would be wasted here. Please, go with Claire. I shall remain here and await your gift of good tidings. He always looks so happy. You can be sure of it. Then let us depart for Mamuk. Okay, so let's head off to Mamuk, and I'm sure we'll find it because, like, everything in that forest is blue already, so. Okay. Here we are. Suppose now we split up and speak with whoever we see. You disagree? Ah yes, Master Shunye did mention the Mamuja here are quite wary of outsiders. Then you take the lead, Claire. I shall follow and learn. With any luck, someone here will have been able to help us. Both Shunye and I are fortunate to have one so well-traveled as you for an ally. I doubt we could have come so far on our own. Okay, so we got 4 people, plus it looks like some spots. It's taken to understand that Mamuk was a rather isolated settlement, yet an aetheryte stands at its entrance. Makes me wonder whether one could be built in my village. That would certainly be a lot more helpful. Ah, 'tis a thought best forgotten. I hear the cost of maintaining an aetheryte is quite exorbitant. Every day I spend in the outside world, I realize more and more how it revolves around money. It's sad, but that is so true. Alright, so we got our first victim over here. Oh, I recognize you. You were with Bakul Jaja, weren't you? What business do you have with one such as me? Crystallized stone shaped like a teardrop? Can't say I've seen such a thing. If I had, I'm sure I would have remembered it. Then again, everything in this place is blue, so... You think I remember every single rock I ever laid eyes on? That's the one thing we don't have any shortage of around here. Maybe if rocks could fill a hungry belly, I'd pay more attention to them, but they can't, so I don't. Now leave me be. Well, someone's grumpy. Can't you see I'm resting? Why are you asking me about crystals? Just take a few steps into the wilderness and you'll practically trip over them. What do you mean that's not what you're looking for? And why do you think I care? Man, everyone here is just in such a bad mood. Cannot say I've ever seen statues quite like these before. I take it these designs are meant to invoke Mamuja's heads? Oh, you got that real quick, didn't you? Of course, I understand the desire to immortalize one's forebears with stone objects. My people do much the same, yet to build structures of stone in the middle of such lush forests, no matter how many times I see it, I always find it peculiar. Okay, so there should be one more. Oh, hello. Why, isn't it an interesting line of inquiry? Yaktel was once rich with ores of all hues, but I've never heard of one shaped like a teardrop. It would take a skilled artisan to make a shape like that. Perhaps if some force were applied to the ore right at the moment of crystallization, or perhaps if tears themselves were crystallized. But those are only idle thoughts. Either way, I've never seen such a thing with my own eyes. So what have we learned? Not much of use from where I stand. Claire, if you will, I would suggest we approach our questioning from a different angle. If we can say one thing for certain, it is that the stone is rare indeed, so instead of seeking it outright, perhaps we should first seek someone who collects such objects. Good, then we are decided. Let us not lose heart yet. Gatherer in Mamuk. Friend of mine had a particular knack for it. Every time he came back from a scouting mission, he would have some rare specimens in his hands. It was a nice way to earn some extra coin. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but his grandson works at Gomayak's Grove, and I hear he is a Devtan himself. The boy's name was... that was his name? Poor thing. A collector of rare stones and plants, you say. I'm sure I've heard of at least one. Ah, yes, I do recall the young Goslaja mentioning his grandfather had quite the collection. He used to bring back all sorts of bits and bobs from his reconnaissance. It's been a while. I admit it's been quite a while since I've spoken to Goslaja, so I cannot say whether he's held on to his grandfather's belongings. His story sounded very familiar. I believe this Goslaja's grandfather may be the very collector we seek. Or may have been, rather. Still, the obvious course of action is to speak with Goslaja and see if he still possesses any of his grandfather's belongings. Let us depart to Gomajak's Grove. Okay, so we got a bit of a walk, so let's speed things up. Everywhere we are surrounded by trees of unimaginable height. It feels so small in comparison. The clan of Vieira known as the Rava, who dwell within the Golmore jungle, would likely be unmoved by such a sight. Well, we've actually met one of them. Instead, their eyes would seek out places where their natural complexion would allow them to blend into the surrounding foliage. By contrast, the Vieira of my tribe are more suited to camouflaging themselves among the snow-capped mountaintops. Still, the fauna of this place does have a unique coloring. Perhaps I could disguise myself if I so desired. Would you turn around for a moment, Claire? Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, he's following us. That is so cute. Okay. Oh, hello. Did you need something from me? You are Gosolja, yes? Grandson of a renowned collector, as we have heard? I am, and my grandfather was indeed fond of showing off his collection, but how in the world did you know that? Well, that explains everything. Still, this is quite an unexpected visit. We thank you for indulging us. So, did your grandsire collection contain anything that might resemble the stones we told you about? Yes, your description makes me recall one of my favorites, in fact. Sad to say I lost it when I was a child, though, but my memory of it is crystal clear. Let's see. Unfortunately, a memory is not enough for us to judge whether the two are related. I may know where he found it. As you heard, my grandfather served as a scout when the Mamuja and Jabra were at war. He was known as a swimmer without equal and used the cenotes to travel to every corner of the forest unnoticed. Cenotes? Those are the springs which dot the forest, correct? Are you saying they connect somehow? Yes, a network of tunnels runs under the earth. One can travel the width and breadth of the forest, if you know where to go, that is. I remember my grandfather said he found the crystal on a mission to Yekbrax. It was lying there on the cenote floor, as if waiting for him. It's likely that he found it in Jekbrax, where the waters once ran red with blood. The Shabrali would bury their fallen warriors there, and none expected a scout to be bold enough to trespass. This story has promise. The samples we found before were pulled from deep layers of the earth, performed at a time immediately following the meteorite's impact. There's no telling how far down these tunnels reach, but doubtless they pass through the same layers. I find the whole thing kind of disturbing. Naturally, minerals from these layers would corrode and settle at the bottom of the cenotes. Yes, this has promise indeed. Gosolja, you have given us direction. Thank you truly. No, thank you for allowing me to remember my grandfather so fondly. May you find that which you seek. Let's make our way to Yekbrax, Claire. Oh, these names. I just hate these names so much. It's like they just put random letters together and hope that they don't drive people crazy. Oh well. Wow, we've got a bit of a ways to go, so let's speed up. Okay, here we are in the little corner of the map. So this is Yekbrax. I find it hard to believe that these waters were once stained red with the blood of war. Luckily, the cenote is now clear and our vision should be unclouded as we search, or should I say, your vision. This is difficult to confess. As you know, I was trained among the snowy mountain tops. You can imagine how poorly I might fare in a body of water. Although it shames me to place this burden on your shoulders, I would rather my soul not join those that were set adrift in the cenote. That is, of course, assuming you possess the skill that I lack. Oh, it's okay, I can breathe underwater, it's no problem. Good, good, thank you, Claire. I have ever been able to depend on you when I find myself wanting. You shall be the example I strive to emulate in my future travels. I shall stay here and await your safe return. Good luck. Yeah, swimming is a very important skill to have, though, so I would strongly recommend that you do learn how to swim. What? So, at least we know where to go. Oh, wow. This is pretty cool. It's always so interesting just to dive under the water just to see what's down here. And they kind of look like lily pads almost. I know they're not really lily pads, but they kind of look like it. Okay, so the first one is closest here. Here it is. Azure fragments, and we got some pearl grass. Yeah, I know. Might as well gather some pearl grass while I'm here. I do need that for some future crafting. Plus, we have one right next to us, so not a problem. Okay, here we go. Oh! I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be tricky. Okay, so let's get on out. You made it. You were down there for so long I begun to fear the worst. You must be half fish for how indefatigable your lungs are. So, did you find aught? Best of my recollection, this looks almost exactly like the stone Master Shunye had. Its shape, that unmistakable blue. We did it, Claire! It appears our intuition was correct after all. This crystal is a remnant of a grievous wound dealt to the earth. 'Twas the case in ancient times, and 'twas the case 50 years ago. We must return to Master Shunye with haste. Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly going to be good news, though. I mean, it's good that he'll finally have an answer, but it's kind of bittersweet, you know? Okay, so once we turn this in, I think we can officially wrap things up. Fortune smile upon us at last. Never seen you two so excited to bring me a delivery. Take it something good is in store? Where did you really find this in Yatel? But how? You dived to the bottom of a cenote? But the waters are so cold, and the cave so labyrinthine. Not to mention a single misplaced stroke could cloud your vision with sediment. Even so, here you are before me, and I'm more grateful for that than anything else. Shunye's apothecary could ask for none more skilled, none more brave than you two. I'll start examining this right away. Soon we'll have our answers. You found the impossible. I can say without the shadow of a doubt that this fragment is made of the very same material as the azure tears I found in my ruined home. Have we proven your theory? As to the true nature of those stones and how your village met its fate? I am now certain that these stones formed much in the same way as obsidian does near volcanoes. When minerals are melted by extreme heat, they cool into glassy lumps. In this case, when the meteor struck, the heat must have not only melted the earth, but sent it flying into the heavens. In the air it cooled into the shape of wilted petals, the shape of tears. But they hold something else as well. The meteorite brought instantaneous destruction to the area of its impact. All the plants, animals, and people gone, their life force scattered into the air. See, it is ether which sleeps in those stones. When that energy failed to return to the life stream, it crystallizes. Just so. I believe these are more than mere lumps of glass. The blue light is the shining essence of all that was taken from me. For 50 years I searched, and for 50 years I knew one thing, that answers would never bring them back. And I knew that even if I proved the cause of my tragedy, that revelation would bring no comfort. Even so, the land of Toral wept that day for all that was lost in an instant. Now that I know that, I can move beyond my sorrow. I can remember my family as they were. Their smiles, those bright days we shared, our happiness. Thank you, you two. I feel as if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. Within nature's grand cycle, the life I lived back then shall remain a shining beacon. I knew you had not strayed far from your roots. We simply had to help you dig them up again. It may soon be time to depart upon another journey, the first in a long while. Not to find a new family per se, but to attune myself to nature's rhythm once again. You have brought me pieces of a much greater whole that I would rejoin. I shall let the wind's breath carry me where it will, and so long as the boundless horizon is before me, I shall walk. A worthy goal. Oh, does that mean you're leaving the shop? They are beautiful, though. I will say that. They are so pretty. I mean, at least we were able to help him a little bit. I like to think that I composed myself well at this apothecary. In so doing, I succeeded in fulfilling both my responsibility to my people and also my obligation to Master Shunye as a friend. Oh, are you two going to go traveling together then? That would be really sweet. Although you may tired of my praise, I'd like to express my thanks to you both once again. You would have been exceptional help if you did nothing more than gather what I asked, but you went far beyond that. Likewise, I learned more of the Shatona than I could have hoped. Yet my own quest is far from over. I would take this opportunity to go out into Taral and experience all that it has to offer, the culture of the Shatona included. So, if indeed you plan on leaving the city, I ask that you allow me to join you. Besides, a journey is only as good as your companions, or so they say. Why limit your journey to just Taral? You pose an interesting question. I can't say I had a particular destination in mind, so a trip across the salt would be as good as any. Perhaps I might find someone to guide me across the world's breadth in exchange for a ramble about Taral. Does anyone suitable spring to mind? Either way, these are decisions to be made in the future. For now, I don't intend to close up shop. Truly? Regardless of my reasons for starting this apothecary, I've become quite fond of it, to say nothing of my loyal customers. Abandoning them without notice would be unseemly. And besides, how long do you believe you can travel with such a light coin purse, old blow? Sleeping under the stars and foraging for your own food will only take you so far. Soon you'll be penniless, and Taral's less hospitable climes might very well take you. I can. You can stay here and earn a bit more coin before our trek. I would be a terrible owner if I let one of my best workers be so reckless. So for a while at least, let's continue on as we have been. There's so much more to be done after all. Oh boy, I'm so glad that's over. That was a pretty good story. I did enjoy it. And these two I've grown quite fond of. A genius gatherer. Ah, that's nice. Well, come, Claire. You'll be glad to hear business is brisk, in no small part thanks to your efforts. As for our journey, well, Ovlo is still gathering the funds. I offered to cover our travel expenses, but he is loath to be in debt to an elder. It's been 50 years since I've left this city, so I've no issue with staying here a little while longer. While Ovlo readies his funds, I shall take my time preparing the shop and myself for the journey ahead. No deliveries to be made today, it seems. Still, the shop must be cleaned and customers must be tended to. Must admit, I cannot count dealing with customers among my skills. I would rather stick to tasks which I can complete with my hands. But Master Shunye was most insistent that I get out there and smile, as he put it. Yeah, I think that's good for you. He said friendly faces attract new customers. I think it shall be a while yet until I understand the subtleties of running a business in such a large city. Oh boy, thank God that's over with. But thank you all for joining me, and I hope you all look forward to next time. So until then, everyone, take care.